All right, so here we go. Yes, I've been playing Palworld before release. You've probably heard of this one. It's kind of like Ark Survival Evolved. Think about that, but Pokemon with guns. You've probably heard of it before. I remember seeing this trailer released years ago, and I was genuinely excited about it. I didn't know if it was a scam or not. It doesn't seem like it's a scam. I've been playing it early access before release. Special thank you, by the way, to the Palworld dev team for granting me access, but it is the most ridiculous game. This game right here has made me laugh so many times just because of what the pals actually do during battle. And it's just like a fun-loving game. So if you want something with total escapism, I think this will be right up your alley. And the cool thing is, it is going to be on Steam, I think for around 30 bucks. It is considered early access, probably the most stable early access game I personally ever played. It does have some issues. I'll get into that in just a moment. But it's also available on Xbox Game Pass, so if you just want to try it, you can also do that. Just hop in and try it for yourself. So that's also really cool as well. And you can see the wide variety with this game between the different pals, which are essentially like Pokemons that you can go out and collect. I mean, they literally have like the Pokemon ball, which is called a pal sphere that you use in this game. So you can see where the inspiration definitely comes from. There's a lot of nuances with this, though. It's not just where you just go out there and hope for the best. You have to like really think and plan it out. Like Minecraft, like Ark Survival Evolved, you can create a world and just go crazy with it and build out that world, collect. I think it's over 101 pals and upgrade them, utilize them in different ways. We'll get into those details. So yeah, onto my gameplay. Here we go. You start out with practically next to nothing. You don't even get a pickaxe at the beginning of the game. It's very much Ark Survival Evolved. You start out with your fist. And then you level up, which unlocks technology, which then requires crafting materials. And then finally, you can go in here and start really crafting some really cool stuff. This is probably the most important thing that you can craft, the Pel Dock, which means you're going to be getting access to sorting your pals. And then eventually, what's really cool is you can sort your army, the pals that are in your arsenal, as well as the pals that are at your base. And you can even use this as like a hospital to heal up your pals as well. So it has multiple uses to it, but most notably, it is going to be where you can track your missions and gain experience in a big way. And yeah, as you can see here, you will be running into people around the open world. I would not call this a story-centric game whatsoever. They're just there to guide you along the proper way. And once you get your first pal sphere made, or in this case, 5 of them, as you can see in the lower right corner, this is the time to finally start capturing pals, which, by the way, is the fastest way to level up in this game. If you're capturing pals that are higher level than you, you can expect to be gaining far more experience. But if they're lower level than you, you'll see a less of impact on the experience gained. And then you'll find these more rare versions of pals, which can offer bigger buffs and bonuses, but they're also pretty dangerous, as you can see right here. This thing absolutely wiped me out. I'm like, how can a cute, adorable sheep thing be so violent? But yeah, you also, once you gain your pals and bring them back to your base and have them working around your base, you have to feed them. You have to make sure they're pretty much sheltered, they have beds, or they will become very restless, unhappy. They won't build, they won't gather materials for you. It's a really cool system. You have to take care of your pets, which I love this sort of system. And yes, you have to take care of yourself because you build shelter. You have to make sure you're not cold. You have to have a fire, a camp. All this stuff has to be set up to ensure that you can survive. But beyond the base, you can build kind of structures to get around the actual open world. So out here, I was like, how do I get across this area? There's an effigy, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment. I decided to build myself a ramp and go full-blown Zelda Breath of the Wild, because why not? As you can see, yeah, there's a lot you could do with traversal here as well. Grab the effigy, but what are those? You take these to these shrines and you can enhance your pals, or you can enhance your pal sphere. You're going to want to enhance your pal sphere because that way you can capture higher level pals, and then you're going to want to enhance your pals before heading into these big boss battles. Showcase that in just a moment. But yeah, ultimately, you're also going to want to set up defenses at your base because there's these raids that do happen, which, by the way, some of the AI here, I was like, there's a lot to be desired with some of the AI raids that attack your base. I ran into several where they just acted kind of confused and didn't know what they were doing, but it was still entertaining. I hope they update this a bit more. Then there were raids where they were genuinely going all in and attacking. I was like, now this feels right. So it's hit or miss with the raid AI. I am going to say that. But yeah, you're going to want to find one of these towers because within is, yes, the boss. So you head into the tower. You get this kind of like cinematic showcasing another Pokemon master. I mean, PAL master. And they have their own PAL, which are usually this huge boss, as you can see right here. And yes, it is wise to make sure your PAL sphere is upgraded, and you do not really want to kill the boss outright. You want to capture these bosses because you can do what she's doing. You can ride them in battle, and eventually you can give this guy a minigun. I kid you not. But yeah, these bosses, they are no pushover whatsoever. You have got to be prepared. And I asked myself, oh my God, can I like build defenses while I'm in here? Because I was struggling at first. And no, you cannot build out defenses against a boss in a dungeon. It's just not going to work whatsoever. But yeah, my poor little fox thing got absolutely wrecked by the boss. And eventually in the technology tree, you can get like the ability to build out potions. So it's wise to really take your time before heading into those boss battles and make sure you're at the appropriate level. And you can find, like, I would call them mini bosses out in the open world. They can be tough as nails as well, and you really need to make sure you're prepared. And here's a little look at the actual open world itself, which has multiple biomes. I love how various the actual landscape is in this game. You have your forested region, your plains, your rocky regions. You have your beautiful red landscapes. It's a very beautiful game. And again, I ran into some glitches, but I wouldn't say anything that's completely game breaking. And here we can see some of the mounts that you can actually capture. You can see you've got low percentage going on here. The PAL sphere gives you updates. Wait a second, your percentage of capture has updated to 100%. Boom, we captured a mount, which by the way, you can use this mount here in battle as well. You're going to really want to pay attention to what bosses have, what strengths and what weaknesses, because you're going to want to match that with your pals that you head into battle with. And then as you explore, you're going to want to open up the map a little bit more with fast travel. One thing I was worried about with this game is it's going to be tough getting around. It's going to be just a chore getting around. No, that's not the case whatsoever. They did such a great job making sure to put fast travel stations right outside of boss encounters. So if you do fail, you can just fast travel back there after building up your resources again and just go straight into battle like I did here. And I really did appreciate that big time. And here you can see finally, yes, I have my mount being used in battle. He actually caused quite a bit of damage, but I was discovering that this still was not going to do it. But it was this character right here that I was discovering was causing a lot of damage. And I was like, I'm going to have to regroup and bring back a ton of these daydreams into this battle. And there's even penguins that you can use that can freeze the boss, which surprised me. So I'm going to bring back that sort of arsenal into this boss battle. And it's kind of like where you really have an opportunity to test your strategies on these bosses. And if you do lose, it is kind of costly because you lose all those resources. But yeah, that's Palworld. I'm enjoying it myself. Again, it's like $30 right now on early access on Steam. And then Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, you could just load it up on the 19th and try it for yourself and see if you like it. So I think this one might be a surprise hit. We'll see what happens, but I'm pleasantly surprised by it. I didn't know what to think of it when the trailer was initially released. I'm like, is this going to be another one of those scam games? It does not seem to be the case whatsoever. Now, this game will live or die on its updates. So I really do hope that they update this game with a lot of content. And yeah, it also does have cooperative play. I didn't even mention that. I was more like in single player in this one. As you guys know me, I love my single player. Love being able to take it all in without being distracted. But yeah, if you want the option of heading into multiplayer in co-op, you do have that with Palworld. So yeah, curious to see what you guys say about this one. If you're going to enjoy it, come back to me, tell me an update if you played it or not. Leave a comment down below. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you all next time. Take care.